So I just recently watched Thor: Love and Thunder, and it's certainly a tonal continuation of Thor Ragnarok. Um, so if you liked Thor Ragnarok, I'm pretty sure, like I did, I enjoyed it very much. I'm pretty sure you will enjoy um, Thor: Love and Thunder, as I did. But maybe I just enjoyed it a little bit less um, than I thought I would. One thing you should know is that it's not serious, uh, and that can be a good thing coming off of big world-ending event. There is some events that are, the catalyst, the trigger for the story to happen, and they are presented as serious. They are serious in nature, but they are definitely not portrayed serious. No characters really react in any serious way to it. And how many times can I say serious? A lot. So the movie, it is goofy, it's glam, it's rock. You'll have a lot of fun, like I did, kind of like you did with Ragnarok. But don't expect anything to carry any emotional weight. Um, that is just not how these movies are made. Like for all situations where people are big and serious, there's something equivalent to a fart joke right after to undercut the whole thing. It's just thinking of Thor Ragnarok. How many people died when Hela went to Asgard, um, and how that was handled? Like a lot of people were just killed, brutally burned, and it wasn't dealt with in any serious way. And you'll have a lot of the same thing in Love and Thunder. So be warned about that. And it seems like it's part of the course in a Taika Waititi movie. It seems like he's a bit of a one-trick pony. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but that means that you shouldn't overdo that trick. It should overstay its welcome, so it becomes old. And maybe we're already here. I guess depending if you see his other movies, Jojo Rabbit, but I think from Thor Ragnarok to Thor Love and Thunder, the shine, the glam, if you will, has already started to fade a little bit. And that might be concerning for where we're going next. There's also this rock dude character, I forgot his name because it's not important, it just sounds like, not really that invested. But casting yourself as a side character, it can be okay. I think like if it works, that's what it comes down to. Um, uh, so I can say, okay, I enjoyed this character. He was fun. The voice was good. It was a good performance. Oh, it was the director himself. Good job. The performance good. A performance good. The performance is still good. The character is still here, but it kind of like tries to grow in size, where I couldn't follow. It was like, look at me, I'm back, and I'm gonna be the narrator, or I'm gonna be more in the limelight, because it's also the comedic sidekick, even though everyone's kind of a bit comedic in this movie. Then it starts feeling a bit weird, and having a what's called comedic sidekick, or what's the name, like Jar Jar Binks was the comedy interlude, a bit like the clown in the show. It's not an elegant solution, and in Thor: Love and Thunder, it's might not even be necessary because Thor is being shown as very incompetent, bumbling fool, just running around with no situational awareness, no. Uh, he's not listening. He's really only doing what he wants when he wants it. Again, there's some situations where life's at stake and he doesn't care. If you don't think serious about it, of the gravity of the situation, you're gonna have fun with it. But he seems to be even dumber in this movie than he was in Thor Ragnarok. Also, we're right back to weak and non-existent non-interesting villains in Marvel again. Uh, I suppose, and that's a bad for a studio, for a film franchise, if you want to call it that, brought us what I consider the villain to beat, as in the goalpost in Thanos, and say this is how you do a villain and antagonist. This is how you build them up and explain the situation. We have very little of that in Thor: Love of Thunder. The motivation is established, um, and it's it's understandable. I can see where the villain is coming from, but in Thor: Love and Thunder, it didn't need to have a villain really, because you're interested, or the movie is interested in the multiple main characters and how they react to each other and interact with each other. Um, so the villain definitely takes like second stage, if not even maybe third stage in this movie, which can be okay. It's just um, there's a great performance by Christian Bale here, being kind of neglected, I think, and his action also. I'm really going to say serious again. Yes, I am. His actions are serious and global or universal in Thor's case, but it's still being treated as a bit of a joke. Like really serious. This movie could have done with no villain at all, because in the end, the villain doesn't matter. It's just something to move the story along, to get the characters going, to make them come together and react. And then even for the climax, I'm still not going to spoil it, but it turns out to be more of a punching match about strength, and not about arguments or sacrifice or preparedness. It's just might makes right. Mighty Thor indeed. I don't want to start any political really, but I think there was a trans person in here just for the sake of it, it, and it's a kid too. It's really weird. It's handled weird. Not being trans is not weird, but it's weirdly handled in this movie. Like there's someone said put a female name, I think was, and Thor goes, "You used to be a girl. I'm gonna call you girl." And like Astrid, and the boy goes, "Oh, I'm Alex now." And Thor goes, "No, your father named you Astrid, I think it is." And the boy goes, "No, no, I'm Alex." And then that's more or less it. I I don't know. I guess it was for diversity inclusion point. It's a bit weird, handled a bit weird. Uh, Given Disney's history of having like the first 15 openly homosexual characters, it was all almost farcical. They could have done this better. Especially following up from Doctor Strange, that was like serious and opened up the MCU in general to a bit of a new direction, and had impact on some major characters. Thor: Love and Thunder, it's a good time if you're not in deep. If you'll get what you expect from Ragnarok. There's some cool concepts being introduced. There's some cool places. Some of it's still a lot undercut by a joke. For instance, Thor gets some goats, which I thought was cool, because that's the original Thor is Boagan is carried by two goats, and it's cool. But then the goat screams all the time, and that's kind of like this way all the way through the movie. But I enjoyed it, and if you're just looking for a nice big show, fireworks, yeah, I'll say that to it. If you like Ragnarok, you'll love. I guess you'll love Thor and Thunder. It's nice to see that the MCU can have different types of movie within it still. Yeah, I guess that was just my thoughts. Thank you for watching.